performance conversations are about the agreements. And what we want to do is confirm the agreement. Your expectations are not their promises. And I think, is it Jin? Gave you a great example of an assumption. Well, I expect them to know. That's not their promise. But that's their job. They should know. That's not their promise. But it was clear in the communication. They should know that's not their promise. If you were to take on, I give you a point of view that I recommend. Consider that you're getting from people exactly what you're asking for. What if that were the case? That you're getting from people exactly what you ask for.
That's great. I'm going to be pretty exact on what I ask for.
Yeah, but I mean, if you even look now, oh, I'm not getting this and I'm not getting that, rather than consider it's about them, what if you consider, oh, I'm not getting what I want because there must be something off in what I'm asking for. I could change that. I can clearly say, hey, look, I'm sorry, I thought you were going to do that. I clearly miscommunicated. Here's really what I want. Can you do that? Rather than all the attributions, all the blames, all the complaining we then have. What if we consider that what we're getting is a direct function of what we're asking for? And I can pretty confidently tell you that it's very highly correlated between what you're asking for. Now have enough evidence from managers over the years that it's pretty highly correlated. So, confirm the agreement. Manage the agreement. Not the people. Manage the agreement. What I'm interested in is the fulfillment of the agreement. My ability to produce the change depends on you honoring what you said you would do. So what I want to do is manage the agreement, which means you may help people remember. So I see Todd and I say, hey Todd, how's it going with that thing? I just wanted to check. Do you need anything from me? How's it going? And you say, well, that's micromanaging. No, I'd have you consider that's reminding people, because conversations go out of existence for people, and unless they have a rigorous schedule system, they do not have a record of everything they agreed to, so it would be a helpful reminder. How many times have you been grateful that somebody reminded you about something? You know, and they say, well, I'm micromanaging, but they saved your life, so to speak, by reminding you of that particular thing. So you can help people remember. And you can also make promises public, part of the accountability boards and other ways of putting them in visual displays. Okay, some tips on performance conversations. Most common mistake. First one is not asking. That's the most common, is we don't ask. We explain it, and then don't ask. The second one is not getting a good promise. I would probably say above those, the most common mistake is leaving a deadline out. It seems to be particularly prevalent in the Midwest, but I haven't done research across the country to find out, but they tend to be missing. Be clear on what, when, and why, and say no when you can't make a good promise. That would also require that you have a really well-developed existence and infrastructure system so that you know what you're doing, such things as, you know, accountability boards, personal schedules, everything else that allow you to actually manage what you've agreed to. Manages the promises you make and the promises people make to you. So what do I mean by manage the promise? How many of you have a record of all the promises that you've made for the last week? How many of you, so a couple of you do have promises, the promises you made. Now how about all the promises that were made to you? That's great, Richard. I have you come into my execution class and train some of those people. So here's the deal. If you don't know what you owe other people and they don't know what they owe you, what's that going to do to your credibility? What's that going to do to trust that exists among people? What's that going to do to the ability to build and maintain accountability in an organization? If pretty much what I'm going to be dealing with is promises made that nobody really keeps track of, and then what will happen, and I think you probably recognize this, I remember I owe Mike, but Mike's a big, powerful, influential person high up on the totem pole, whereas Jason, on the other hand, he's just a first-year you know, PM, so he's not as important, and now I'm going to start making decisions based on who's made it, what the priorities, and we'll now get into a situation called politics. And that will now become kind of an issue. It's the agreements, stupid. I borrowed this from Clinton's, it's the economy, stupid, back in, I think, it really is the agreements.